There really should be a law against the remaking of classics. Last time I covered how Sabrina was turned into a facsimile of its 1954 self. Today, I'll talk about how Rebecca feels like a movie out of a different genre in its 2020 remake. And yes, I realize the first two movies in this comparison series are both named after women. I'm not sure if I can keep this going though. Oh, unless I do Carrie next. Let's see if I do Carrie next. What could have justified this atrocity? Laurence Olivier and Joan Fontaine flew so that Lily James and Armie could attempt and fail at crawling. I like Lily James, by the way. Let it be known. Despite my affection for her, I cannot and will not stand the desecration of a classic. I thank God that Casablanca is too holy for these money-hungry Hollywood warthogs. I beg you, you avaricious Hollywood swines, please leave my beloved Casablanca undisturbed on its throne. Anyway, let's see if the 2020 remake of Rebecca can even shine the boots of its 1940 superior. An unnamed girl, working as a lady's companion, meets Max de Winter, a widower, in Monaco. At first, he comes off as rude and blunt, mostly because it's been a year since he lost his wife. But over the period of a week, they spend time together and grow to like each other. A week is all they get, as the girl's boss has to sail to New York rather suddenly. This will bring her newfound romance to an unceremonious end. Max de Winter acts quickly. He proposes to her, marries her, and brings her back home to Manderley, his estate. Problem is, our unnamed girl is the second wife. The first wife, Rebecca, was an amazing woman who possessed Manderley when she was alive and is very much felt in her death. Even worse, the housekeeper, Mrs. Danvers, is a huge fan of Rebecca and considers the new wife a downgrade and an insult to the memory of Rebecca. Our unnamed girl, who has no experience running a house the size of a city, has to depend on Mrs. Danvers for a lot of things. Mrs. Danvers doesn't hide her hatred and sows a lot of trouble for our girl. The movie's climax is the discovery of the boat that Rebecca drowned in. Surprise, her body is still in the boat. So who did Max bury a year ago? Turns out Rebecca was a playgirl and was just pretending to be the perfect wife. After a nasty verbal exchange, Max had killed her, placed her in her favorite sailboat before sinking it. Now, our unnamed girl is about to lose her husband to capital punishment. She doesn't want this. Despite her husband's confession, she feels free now that she knows that Max hated Rebecca. Fate is on Max's side here. It turns out that Rebecca had terminal cancer, and knowing this, she had picked a fight with him on purpose. The police doing the inquest ruled her death as suicide, letting him off the hook. Mrs. Danvers can't stand that our girl and Max have been gifted a happy ending. Therefore, she burns Manderley down. There is no denying that Lily James has a charm about her. However, she shouldn't even be in this comparison. She was 31 when a version of Rebecca came out. Joan Fontaine was 23 when the original was released. And yet, Fontaine captures so many emotions in her performance that I couldn't keep up. Lily James is good, but her range is slightly limited here. She's usually better in a movie where the female lead is less complicated. Think of her in Baby Driver. That's her range. The performance required for Rebecca needs an actress who can play naive at first, then gradually change into a more sophisticated character as circumstances around her shift. By the end of the movie, she'll be Max's accomplice in covering up the murder of Rebecca. Joan Fontaine handles this metamorphosis with ease. Lily James arrives at this without any warning. To make us believe her commitment, the director even gets her to seek evidence that would extricate Max of his crime. Fontaine doesn't need to drive in a rush to London to save Max. We believe her commitment because her emotional performance has placed us in her shoes. We would like Max to go scot-free, not because of love, but because we want Fontaine to have a happy ending. Now, no need to get excited. We have a giant of British cinema and stage on one hand, and we have Armie on the other. This is an unfair matchup, and it shows. Armie possesses no mannerism that suggests he's gone through a tragedy. When we meet Laurence Olivier, he's standing on the edge of a cliff. Fontaine believes he's about to jump. He even gets annoyed that she interrupts him. Armie plays the casual, charming playboy, and that's his range. When he's supposed to be blunt, angry, or domineering, he simply comes off as a sulking, spoiled schoolboy. When Armie calls Lily James a child, I don't believe him. When Olivier treats Joan Fontaine as a child, you believe it. Why do you believe it? It's not because Olivier is 10 years older than Fontaine, while Hammer is only 3 years older than Lily James, although this contributes to it. It's because he feels older. His mustache, his mannerisms, how he conducts himself on screen, make you believe that he's experienced things that excuses his view of Fontaine as a child. In the Manderley scenes, you can see that Olivier is a much better husband too. The scenes he has with Fontaine make you believe that they are really husband and wife. Harmer simply avoids Lily James. He leaves her alone at every turn. They don't feel like a couple at all. It's for this reason that the new version of Rebecca feels punishing. Lily James's character is struggling, and her husband has abandoned her to the wolves. Mrs. Danvers is the embodiment of the dead trying to stop the sprouting of the new. She's a constant physical and psychological reminder that Rebecca was everything the new wife isn't. She's a demon whose vile whispers exhaust the psyche of our girl. In the most chilling scene, she even encourages the new wife to jump off her window. If you'd like to see the strength of the 1940 version, watch this scene. You will see great writing from one movie and rather stale choreography from the other. In the original movie, Mrs. Danvers is a rather terrifying character. She is obsessed with Rebecca to the point of it being unhealthy. In the new version, there is still an obsession, but it doesn't scare you. It just worries you. In the 1940 version, even how she speaks is ominous. Even her walking style is rather uncanny. You start to realize that it's not Rebecca that's haunting Manderley. It's Mrs. Danvers. It's rare for a movie to have a character that's as great as Mrs. Danvers. She's a perfect villain. She wins by feeding the insecurities that the new wife has. The new wife isn't as good as Rebecca. She's not as suave or as beautiful. She's not as accomplished. It's sad that this psychological edge is rather dulled in the new version. Subtlety and subtext bleed through the writing of the original movie. It's the main reason the 1940 version is superior. The new movie strips itself of these literary elements. Characters constantly speak their minds and do deeds that are unnecessary. All this at the cost of the story. Subtlety suffers greatly when it comes to the psychological aspect of the story. The new version is greatly dependent on external symbols of horror to relay the difficulties that the new wife is going through. We see a flock of birds in the air. We see Lily James getting swallowed by vines or something like that. And we even see the ghost of Rebecca in the costume ball scene. The original movie doesn't employ these cheap theatrics. It has good writing, great acting, and characters rarely claim Rebecca to be superior, other than Mrs. Danvers, who's just hatred personified. In the new version, there's a grandma who is so in love with Rebecca that she loses her mind when she sees Lily James. She has to be taken away because she can't think of a reason anyone other than Rebecca could be her grandson's wife. I believe the new movie could have been rewatchable if more subtext was employed, and if the director had opted for the intimate psychological angle of the original. I have another theory as to why the new movie is weak. None of its actors speak in the mid-Atlantic accent. Seriously though, watch the original and marvel at the shots that the cinematography produces. It seems that the color in the new movie actually strangled the life out of Rebecca. It doesn't feel the same. The shots of Mrs. Danvers walking, being her usual menacing self, are much better in black and white. Both these movies are over 2 hours long. Make the right choice here and watch the original. There's no need to be bogged down by poor storytelling for over 2 hours. None at all. Also, you get to watch Joan Fontaine. I guess Laurence Olivier isn't too bad either. Don't be possessed by the sentiment that new is better. Abandon the desire for color movies too. If you have to watch a movie in color, pick a great one, and not one that feels like the photocopy of a photo of a story.